Hey everybody, here are the elements here. Time for another one of my deck profiles. This one is Megalith Drytron. Before you guys ask, the card in the center, it's actually signed by the Power Rangers co-star Katrina Devine. Anyways, I'm going to get straight to the deck profile, show you guys some nice spice to it, and a combo at the end that I use. Anyways, for the Megaliths, I run 3 Megalith Fool, 3 Megalith Drytron, 2 Och, and 1 Bether. For you that don't, sorry guys, for you guys that do not know Megaliths that well, the level 8 Megaliths all have a discard effect to basically become the ritual spell for summoning Megaliths. Bether, when it's ritual summon, though, he can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of ritual monsters with different names in your graveyard. Drytron, its discard effect to ritual summon can be done during either player's turn, as well as when he's on the field. If your opponent targets any of your cards with cards effects, you can target 1 ritual monster from your graveyard, return it to the bottom of your deck, negate the activation, and destroy that card. All level 4 Megalith monsters, when they're on the field, can ritual summon any ritual monster from your hand using itself and whatever else for tributes to equal or exceed the stars required. Och, on the other hand, can be done during either player's main phase. As well, when it's ritual summoned, you draw 1 card and you discard 1 card. Fool, when it's ritual summoned, it can target 1 ritual monster in your graveyard, return it to your hand, then it becomes that level. It also has a quick effect there during either player's main phase. You can ritual summon 1 Megalith monster from your hand or deck by tributing monsters you control or in your hand. Of course, equal or exceed. So it's a pretty good card, in my opinion. I love Megaliths. The other ritual cards I run in this deck, of course, Triple Ben 10, Magician of Black Chaos Max, and Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. I was actually in a tournament this weekend, and a lot of people had a hard time trying to get over Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, since he cannot be targeted by or destroyed by your opponent's card effects, as well as if it attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts double piercing damage. Magician of Black Chaos Max, when it's ritual summon, it can tribute 1 monster you control, and your opponent can no longer activate monster effects for the remaining of the turn. So, say if you start off with Magician of Black Chaos Max, Drytron, and Och, you can use Drytron during your opponent's main phase to ritual summon Och. Get the draw discard, of course. Use Och's effect to ritual summon Chaos Max. Well, Black Chaos Max. Tribute itself, and then your opponent cannot play any monster effects for that turn. For the Drytrons, I run Triple Alpha, Triple Delta, Double Zeta, and 1 Gamma. Which everybody here should know what the Drytrons do. Zeta searches a ritual spell. Gamma special summons a Drytron from your graveyard. Alpha searches for a ritual monster and add to your hand, and Delta will let you draw as long as you have a ritual monster or spell in hand. Now, for my Ben 10 targets, I run Soul of Purity and Light, which cannot be normal summoned or set, but has to be special summoned by removing 2 light monsters from your graveyard from play. So it actually gets around the Drytron effect where you cannot special summon monsters that cannot be normal. Yeah, unless they can be... Yeah, you cannot special summon monsters that can be normal summoner set. So my other targets are Vanity's Ruler, Manju 10,000 Hands, and Trickstar Kandina. I'll show you a nice little combo with her later on. And last my monster lineup, of course, Triple Droll and Lockbird, which you guys can probably already somewhat see the combo. For my spells, I run 1 Megalith Drytron, 2 Cyber Emergencies, 2 Fafnir, there we go, 2 Preparation Rites, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Drytron Nova. I would run a second one if I had the money, to be honest. But we are at a hard time right now for everybody, so one is good enough because it is searchable from Fafnir. And in my opinion, you should not really rely on one card, but there's a lot of Drytron players that would do. Anyways, for my traps, 1 Imperial Order and 2 Trickstar Reincarnation. Of course, Kandina started. For my extra deck, I run Nemesis, the Sacred Flame, which actually has a pretty good effect depending how many ritual monsters you use as effect for its summon. 1+ cannot be destroyed by battle. If you use 2 or more ritual monsters, it cannot be destroyed by card effect, and it also gains 1200 attack. If you use 3, neither player can target this card with card effects, also gains another 1200 attack. So if you use 3 ritual monsters, this thing has 48 attack, cannot be targeted by card effects, cannot be destroyed by card effects, and cannot be destroyed by battle. Another card a lot of people are having a hard time to get over. Then I run Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, IP, Union Carrier, Link Karibo, Fire Phoenix at Ignisher, which only way I can go into them actually is Link Karibo and IPs. Unless I want to, or of course, Underclock Taker as well. Because of and he acquires 2 or more Cybers monsters, but when he attacks, he inflicts damage equals to his current attack, but your opponent takes no battle damage from that battle. And if this card is if this card is destroyed by card effect, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. And during the next standby phase, after this Link summon card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So it's a pretty good card. After that, I'm going to kill this name. Akashic Magician. Link Metal Archfiend, which actually requires a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, or Xyz to summon it. Appaloosa. Mech Knight. Crusadia Evermax. And these 2 cards here are just in case you're going to go close to time. Berserker of the Tenyi and a Grave Dragon. A Grave Dragon, when it's summoned, depends what's in your graveyard to its effects, and this goes by order of its effects. You can inflict 100 points of damage to your opponent for each dragon in the graveyards. This includes your opponent. He can gain 200 attack for each dino. All monsters your opponent controls loses 300 attack for each sea serpent. And you gain 400 life points, for each worm, which Berserker of the Tenyi is a worm, of course. So if you're going close to time, you can easily get 4 monsters out. Go into Tenyi and go into Berserker, then go into a Grave Dragon. You increase your life points by 400. Usually, if you're of 8,000 apiece. Of course, that's enough for the win. Finally, my last card, number 63, which I'll show you the combo. It actually uses him, and I'll explain him more so with that. Okay. For my little combo, I'll just have, where's my monsters? Draw and Lockbird, Gamma, and an Alpha. So I'll use just to show how this is. Anyways, I'll use Alpha's effect right off the hop, which will tribute a Drytron or a ritual monster, which in this case will be Gamma, in order to summon it, which will then search for a ritual monster to add a hand, which I'm going to add, which would be Ben 10. Next, just because you can, and it gives it easy link up and all that if need be, send Alpha to grave for Link Karibo. Good, you guys can see. Then I have Gamma's effect go off and grave to tribute Ben 10, the special summon itself, which will then special summon Alpha. Ben 10 will get its effect to add one Light Fairy from your deck to your hand, which will be Tristar Candina. I'll then summon Trickstar Candina, which will search for my Trickstar Reincarnation. From there, I would overlay Alpha and Gamma to bring out number 63. 63 has two effects. Detach one Xyz material from this card. During the start of your opponent's standby phase, one of two things will happen. And of course, it's your pick. Each player draws one card, or each player gains 1,000 life points. For me, of course, I'll do the draw one card. And from there, just because I can, he does not have to be on the field, by the way, for the final effect to resolve the draw or the 1,000 life points. I would link those two away. For IP. And then from there, just for extra protection, even though I wouldn't have a problem, link them away for Fire Phoenix. Of course, set Reincarnation to end turn. My opponent's turn. He draws for turn. Start the standby phase. I'm just going to do this. We both draw a card. As soon as he draws, I can activate Trickstar Reincarnation, which will banish my opponent's entire hand, and then they draw the same amount of cards. But because they drew prior to me activating this, I still can chain Droll and Lockbird, making it so that they cannot draw once they banish their entire hand, making them have no hand. I actually had one guy this past weekend in a tournament. He had 5 cards in grave when this happened, and he stalled for time to get the tie because he knew he was losing. He went through his extra deck for 5 minutes, went through the graveyard for 2 minutes trying to figure out a play, which he had nothing there with grave effects or anything. So, but that's my nice little spice combo. It's easy search, easy play. As soon as you have Droll and Lockbird in hand, it's basically, you've flushed your opponent's hand out. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy my deck profile. Any questions or anything, just feel free to ask.